Welcome back to File Under Fire, a wrestling review podcast. My name is Brady. I'm your host, joined with me as always by Dom
Hi guys. Yep.
and Aubie
Howdy.
on the ultimate Aubieism episode. We are wrapping I was gonna say wrapping off. That's not the
Finally.
We're wrapping up the ism trio of shows. We have done Domism and watched three very Dom-coded matches. We did Bradyism. We watched three very Bradyism matches, and today we're wrapping it all up, putting a nice little bow on it. We are watching three matches that are all basically as perfect for Aubie as we could think of. Um,
I watched all these matches multiple times this week, so mission accomplished.
I think most emblematic of us saying like, okay, we're gonna do an Aubie week. Uh, every single one of these matches comes before the 21st century. I think that's really like the line where we're at, where we're like, all right, this is on par, right? So
Uh-huh.
yeah, we brought three matches. They each do something different. Um, I feel like I say that a lot, but like genuinely, like
They all made me hoot and holler.
I don't know if
Yep.
I don't know if any of these matches have something in common. Well, I shouldn't say
They're
that.
awesome.
Actually, I shouldn't say that because Dom's match and your match, Aubie, have very similar finishes.
They're all under 20 minutes.
They are all under 20, which I thoroughly, yeah,
That's Aubieism for certain.
yeah. I loved when I opened all the links and I went 15, 20, 15. Oh,
Mhm.
baby. Yeah, this was ideal. I think this was maybe perfect for what we're doing here. Um, yeah, that I guess just to kind of get right into it, Dom's match of the week here. It is Butch Reed versus Junkyard Dog. This match happened in Houston, 7/29/83. That would have been a day after my negative 17th birthday. Um, dude,
for Butch Reed's Mid-American title that he just took off the dog.
yeah, in New Orleans, right? I think that's what they say.
Yeah, in the Superdome.
Which is
These guys
crazy, by
actually
the way.
sold out. Yeah, these guys sold out the Superdome 3 times in '83.
That's insane.
And
This match is so fucking
yeah,
good, just to say it.
that's Butch Reed is rightfully very proud of the fact that that they kind of proved that two African American dudes could do that. But that was the business strategy of Watts in New Orleans anyway. But they did it, and
Yeah.
unbelievable feud.
Yeah, this is I mean, obviously I've not seen the feud as a whole. Obviously with the commentary and stuff, you can kind of tell um this has been building, right? And you can kind of tell like
You can tell from how they wrestle too, because it's heated.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's very
I
heated
mean,
right off the bat.
Dog is just trying to punch the hell out of Butch Reed, which also Butch Reed, by the way, um, crazy looking. Like I
He
described him.
looks like a fucking Terminator.
I described him as an action figure. Like
Yeah.
dude just is like I don't know. I guess when I think of action figures, I always think of like the old like WWE Jakks figures, where like where the joints were, which was like so like the shoulder,
Shoulders.
yeah, the shoulder was like super thick, and then like the elbow was like, the bicep was real big to the elbow joint, and then like the forearms were super huge. So like
Yeah.
that is what I
This
think
is
of.
as awesome as a human has ever looked.
Yeah, for
Butch
sure.
Reed in 1983.
Yeah.
And both these guys, but Butch Reed in particular, I'm thrilled that Dom chose this because he is a real me guy. I think Butch Reed is one of the most underrated wrestlers of his generation.
I think
He could
both.
do everything. He could do
Yeah.
the big classic title match. He could do the wild brawl. The tag wrestler, great talker, looks unbelievable unbelievable. I love Butch Reed, man.
He's great at like bumping around. He makes
Oh my god.
Dog look fucking awesome in this.
Dude,
like $1 million goddamn bucks.
I wrote it down in my
Fun to
notes.
watch.
I wrote it down in my notes, but at one point, like I don't even remember what it is. I don't know if it's like a head, like a headbutt or what it is, but like Butch Reed literally ends up on his head against
I
I
think
think
him.
that's
it was a forearm. Yeah, great forearm.
He does sell a headbutt that way too to start the match because Dog comes out hot and throws like a fucking sick ass punch combo, which is like a theme of this match. When they're throwing punches, they're landing combos.
Yeah,
And
they're
I do want to say before we start, man, when you see that NWA Classics thing, like this discovery and release of this Houston footage is like one of the biggest boons in wrestling footage ever. So many unbelievable matches in like perfect clarity.
and
Like
not this is
version of this on YouTube is like
perfect
immaculate.
clarity and sound quality. You can hear the crowd great.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
and it really, I think, like opened. I don't think people knew because we just didn't have the footage. Like Houston is one of the best.
yeah,
Like the match quality is just off the charts on all of this Houston stuff.
I think everyone, like from a historical standpoint, always knew how important Houston was. Like when you hear guys talk about like what they were doing in Houston and how
because you had all the greats talking about like, oh man, if you guys saw Houston, you would lose your shit. And it's like, man, now I want to see Houston.
yeah,
And this is a Mid-South feud,
and
the Dome stuff is in Mid-South, but they partnered. Houston, Paul Bosch, who does the commentary here, and he's amazing on commentary. He was really smart in the way he set that territory up. They worked with Mid-South, they worked with World Class, they worked with Southwest, which is probably why the match quality is so fucking crazy because they were working with all these unbelievable like super hot territories. But yeah, it's been a huge boon and revelation. Like anytime you see NWA Classics, you're about to see something.
I mean,
amazing.
Midnight Express and Cornette go to Houston like pretty early on, don't they?
They're in Mid-South. They do. They actually have a feud with the Fantastics in Mid-South, which is another match we're going to talk about, but it's a different version of the Midnights, which we'll touch on when we get there. But everybody, it was a big territory. I think Paul Bosch had a reputation for being like fair, and they were always sold out. But the Houston stuff, there's always blood. And again, we have it in just such immaculate clarity and definition. This match is one too. I mean, you can see every detail, and it's worth it because these guys are masters.
I do want to ask you because you like alluded to it in the group chat before we started recording. Like you talked a little bit about like what this kind of feud was about, but you didn't like really delve into it. So now I want to hear it.
So, Dog, I tweeted about this like 10 minutes ago. I think people who hated on Junkyard Dog were like huffing insane amounts of Duke.
He's like the perfect odd wrestler.
Even the people that like are fans of his often will say like, "Oh, he wasn't very good in the ring," which maybe not traditionally, but like I referred to him as like if Goldberg was like cool. He's incredible here, but he was. I said this is a Mid-South feud, right? This is Bill Watts owning the New Orleans market because I said they sold the Dome out 3 times in a year by very intentionally featuring black wrestlers. But I love how Paul Bosch puts it in this match when the crowd's going crazy for Dog because he says wrestling brings together people of all sizes, shapes, ages, and descriptions. Like he's very careful not to say race.
Yeah,
that was intentional.
I heard that and I was like, because I thought he was going to say races.
Yeah.
And then he didn't.
That's what he means, but like even saying that on TV at Houston would have been like controversial, I guess.
Yeah,
at the time,
probably.
Right? But,
yeah.
Trash ass country and culture. Anyway, that the racial stuff obviously. It's not like Bill Watts was like some civil rights pioneer, right? It's all about money.
Mm-hmm.
And his booking partner and one of the first people that he figured this idea out with was Ernie Ladd, the big cat Ernie Ladd, who also is like politically conservative, even though he's an African American. But they when Ladd feuded with the dog, there were big elements of colorism. Right, Ladd is like more light skinned, so he looks down on the dog, and there's that with Reed, the Reed feud too. They were friends, storyline friends, and JYD was voted like the most popular wrestler in the Mid-South Territory. Obviously,
Which
I'm
I
sure it
believe.
wasn't real, right? It's a kayfabe poll, but if you did a poll, he would have won the poll
Yeah, probably.
easily.
I
Like
mean,
people in New Orleans of a certain age
even here in
still
Houston,
talk about the dog.
I mean, every time he
Yeah,
strikes somebody, they're going out of their mind. Yeah.
I love it.
JYD.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
Reed is
what they say. You're
jealous.
gonna get boomed, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I know you guys know the Who Dat stuff,
Yeah,
right?
who that?
Who dat?
Yeah, gonna beat that dog. Who that say they're gonna beat that dog? The Saints do it now. So massive cultural phenomenon. So it was a kayfabe poll, but he would have won it if it were a real poll by a landslide. JYD is one of the most, like, for his little brief run on top, like one of the hottest wrestlers of all time. So Reed gets jealous, and he turns on the dog, and he aligns himself with Ted DiBiase. But he intimates that Junkyard Dog is a sellout. There are there's like intimations again that he's like a house slave, minstrel show act, or like low class. There are elements of colorism to the feud.
Gotcha.
And that's why it's so heated. That's why the dog wants to. I think Paul Bosch at one point says he wants to shut his mouth. And they're jaw jacking to start the match.
Yeah.
They do jaw jack. And it's real ass jaw jack. It's so cool.
Awesome, dude. And then, yeah, dog throws that big ass punch combo, and Hacksaw's bumping his ass
Reed
off.
says something to the effect of like, "I'm gonna whoop like something your ass." So I'm imagining he says something like, "I'm gonna beat your fucking ass."
Yeah.
It's so fucking real and awesome.
Dude, I will say, all right, so like, full transparency and reference, you guys obviously probably know, but like to set the ground for the audience, like this is by far and away the first time I've ever watched Butch Reed. Maybe even might be the first Junkyard Dog match I've like really watched.
Yeah, I mean that tracks.
I've maybe seen some of the stuff like the like WWF stuff. But like this is definitely like the first time I've ever like locked in on a JYD match. But like he said, like Paul Bosch says Hacksaw, Butch Reed, and then like my brain, like the way that he paused, I had already in my head said
Jim Duggan. Yeah,
said Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw, Butch Reed.
They feuded over that.
Which is that's crazy.
Of course, wrestling can be so simple.
It's so simple, man. And when I tell you that shit is fucking awesome, I know you believe me. The Duggan versus Butch Reed, unbelievable.
I'm a big believer that Duggan pre WWF is like probably one of the greatest wrestlers alive, and then he figures out all he has to do is the shtick, and then he
and you make $1 billion. Yeah, why not?
He's got highlights throughout. I mean, he still has but yeah, you're right. Like Mid-South Duggan.
Yeah,
he's involved in truly some of the best matches of the '80s.
Anyway,
but I think Butch Reed is too.
You were saying, Dom?
I was just gonna say, I've been trying to say, and I think the reason why I picked this match is JYD to me is kind of like a perfect Aubie wrestler because it's like he's a hot baby face, huge hog for sure.
God damn it!
We've got what 6 of those this week.
I would imagine, yeah. It's like hot, easy to cheer for, great punches, and like it's very simple, but
God
he
damn it.
does it well, and he gets the crowd behind him.
And he's so charismatic. That's the thing that Bill Watts
Mhm.
failed to grasp, because when these guys feuded again in '84,
Mhm.
and the dog, that's during the national expansion, so he's one of the guys who dipped out without notice.
Yeah.
And Watts tried to sell it like he was ducking Butch Reed, and that's why he left the territory.
Mm.
But Watts tried multiple times to he thought he could just plug in any African American wrestler
And
and
get the
push
same
them
pop
hard,
as
and they would be the dog, right? Because
But it's just
the dog's build was simple. They just had him squash people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Watts said all the time, dog doesn't get paid by the hour. So this is really one of the longer Junkyard Dog matches, and I think he holds up his end of the bargain really well. But they tried with multiple people, including Butch Reed, and it just never clicked,
Well, I think
because there is something undeniable
about the dog.
about the dog.
he has such a I would call it swagger, I think, about him.
Yeah. He carries himself very
Yeah,
well.
exactly. He is undeniably cool. Plus, for what it's worth, right? Junkyard Dog is such a cool fucking name.
It's so sick, yeah.
Yeah. Because it makes you think.
That comes from Bad Bad Leroy Brown.
But
Oh,
song.
okay.
I don't know if you guys know that song.
I do not know that
I do,
song.
yeah.
Yeah, meaner than a junkyard dog is one of the descriptions of Bad Bad Leroy Brown.
Yeah, because when I hear it, I think of the dog from Sandlot. What do they call him?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It's a common expression, but it was in Bill Watts's fevered mind, right? He's thinking okay, what do I know about black people? I know the Three Dog Night song about a black guy.
Yeah.
The corniest shit. Okay, Leroy Brown, Junkyard Dog. But it works.
The dog is so cool, and I found it's gonna piss me off if I don't enunciate it better. But I think the dog is a perfect thing for the Aubie approach to a match of just do the simple shit well and have meaning to it. Throw a little good punch, do a good body slam. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's simple.
You are exactly right. You
Mhm.
get me. That's why you're my boon companion.
It's punch at its base, right? And I don't want to say it this is an oversimplification or anything, but it's it is the basics. It is punch, holds, power moves when need be.
Yeah, but they are all just perfectly placed.
Exactly.
It's a simple formula, but you have to be able to pull it off and keep the people with you. But like I said, he starts with that punch combo, and it's all combos: body shots, straights, uppercuts, the big blocks. Breed's bumping around for him like a crazy person.
Fucking soup.
He sneaks in mean shots too. He
does
does a Beal, and then he punches Butch Reed in the face while Butch Reed is laying on his back, and it's not a fist drop. It's just a straight punch to the mouth. There's a point later where Butch Reed kicks out off a huge clothesline, and he wipes his boot across his nose.
Yeah, he's a good ass heel.
Yeah, it gets really fucking personal, and all the choking too.
Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah.
They're just rolling around on the ground, choking each other like a bar fight.
Bro, I read a review on this match specifically that said, I don't like that Junkyard Dog did a chin hold and killed all the momentum. And I was like, it's at max maybe 30 seconds. I don't know what the fuck.
It is at max 30 seconds. And if you will notice, because I wrote this down, the whole time he has the chin lock on, the crowd is going crazy and chanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrestling fans are stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. And the shit, they're doing all that stuff, but I do think you could describe this match as epic.
Yeah.
It's just a huge. It's like a fucking kaiju battle.
Yeah.
Right. That's another thing that I love that is gone. Right. You don't see guys who look like this fighting each other in wrestling. It's two of the coolest looking Terminator ass like people that have ever done it just having a huge epic battle.
Another thing I like too that like Dog does a lot in like being the heroic babyface is that like he will power out of things a lot easier than Butch Reed will, right? Like like
Yeah.
he gets the knee drop like from the second rope onto him and he kicks out at one.
Yeah.
Like it's
He's presented. That's part of the presentation of Dog. That's why I compare him to Goldberg. He's presented as like a superhero. We'll get to it later, but you'll notice that like he has no problem dispatching the like outside interference. Like he gets jumped, like, he still ends up whipping their asses, both of them.
There are children jumping in the crowd, and it's like, man,
yeah.
This was probably the best. Like, damn, I'm like 6 years old. I get to see the Junkyard Dog. Fuck.
Yeah, man.
And he has perfect like fire ups and shaking off the punches and just beautiful stuff.
Just one of the most charismatic people to ever do it, probably, and probably deserved a lot better, as most wrestlers do.
He certainly deserved a lot better. Yeah.
The finishing.
He had his own issues, but I mean, you can trace a lot of that to his treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The finishing sequence with like the double ref bump, and then King Kong Bundy coming out.
Yeah, and then immediately gets punched in the fucking gore.
Dude, it immediately just gets like killed.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they send people out for his ass, and he just fucking destroys them.
And then we get like what should be a decisive finish, right? Like Reed, like hits these moves and stuff, but
he hits a beautiful drop kick to the back of the Dog's head.
And
yes,
Butch Reed has a couple of really nice drop kicks, and at the time a drop kick is like a extreme high spot.
Yeah,
and you feel it in the context of this match. You see this giant guy elevate that high and smoke somebody in the head with a drop kick.
Butch Reed is like Hercule. That's a god. That's a Greek god right there.
Yeah,
he glistens perfectly.
The finish then too, with like one ref counting the pin.
Both these guys would fuck all of our wives. Let's be honest.
For sure. Yeah. The finish with the one ref counting the pin and then the other ref seeing the interference with King Kong Bundy, like simple stuff.
So this is a literal. This is what a dusty finish means.
Yeah.
Right? He hits the top rope lariat, which is illegal. Couldn't come off the top for the pin, and then the other ref turns it over. It's been sort of a reverse dusty finish. Because it's the babyface getting the win, but it is a DQ win.
So
the title does not change hands. Yeah. But this is like the middle of the feud. You're building towards the blow off, which is a dog collar.
Which sounds sick, by the way.
Yeah, and that's a Junkyard Dog staple, right? The dog collar match. Nowhere for Bush to go. He's at the end of the the chain. So a 17-minute match that feels huge. And I told Dom this earlier. I legitimately watched this like 4 times this week. Because I just kept thinking of it. And I had seen it before. But I just could not stop thinking about this match.
I know you were pretty like you said too, like earlier in the week. Like I don't even remember if it was before or after Dom picked this match, but like you like read JYD's book or something like that, didn't you?
I did. I read a book about him. That was pretty good. I think there are better ones out there, but this one was free on Hoopla, so that's the one I read.
Hoopla.
There. Fuck paying for books, bruh.
Yeah, that's libraries, man. Support your local library.
You're right, my fault.
But
pay for a library card.
Yeah, I love the dog. Think he's like the hate against him is
forced.
The motivation behind it is obvious.
Yeah.
The feeling behind it is obvious. I can tell. I see you, Dave. We all see you. And then Butch Reed, like again, like one of my favorite wrestlers ever. I think he's probably the most underrated wrestler of the 80s. And again, I know the reason for that. But just
Random.
could do it all. And RIP to both of these guys who had rough goes of it in the business, like relative to their talent and money making ability because they were black.
Yeah,
Awesome fucking match.
Dude, he was bumping around so good. I mean, you don't need to make the dog look like $1 million because he's gonna do it on his own, right? But he definitely helped. You know what I mean? He fucking flew across that ring.
Yeah, and that's a big dude to be.
Yeah.
To be doing that means something when you can forearm him and send him reeling like that.
Random question: Did the Mad Dog and the Junkyard Dog ever like work each other?
Buzz Sawyer.
Buzz
Yeah.
Sawyer, dude, they have one of the most awesome brawls I have ever seen.
Is that
Aubie sent me that
Is that in
specifically through the files.
It's like the Takayama thing where he goes like Godzilla mode and just like kills everybody in Kurikan. But it's both of them doing that. They just can't stop choking and like eye gouging each other. And they're like everybody that comes out to stop them, they murder so they can return to
killing each other,
choke each other to death. Yeah,
That's so real.
that's awesome.
And Butch Reed also had a great feud with Buzz Sawyer. An uncomfortable match to watch from 2025 is their dog collar. But in the context of what it is, it's really good. But it is that the racial overtones in that one are strong.
I can't.
But then that's what I mean. That's kind of what I mean about these guys. But
I would assume that's just. I guess back then, especially, that was a Buzz Sawyer heel thing because
yeah.
I watched a Buzz Sawyer. It's clipped, but it's a Buzz Sawyer versus Chavo Guerrero match. It's pretty damn good, and there's an opening promo, and one of the first things he says, he's like, I think he says something to the effect of "you and all the Mexicans" or something, and the whole crowd explodes into like "fuck you." It's very funny.
Used to be
the heel thing,
acceptable thing. Yeah, you'd have heel Nazis and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm not excusing it. Like I said, it's
yeah, of course.
Watch this perspective, but the match itself is awesome, if not tough. But the Junkyard Dog Buzz Sawyer match, if you can track that one down, is just one of the goddamnedest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm currently in the Buzz Sawyer playlist looking while you guys are talking about it because I assumed it would be in here. But yeah,
it should be.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, you know, this crazy,
yeah. I'll send it if it's not. I'll upload it because it definitely should be.
I don't know, crazy thing here where
that was one of the great revelations of that watch because it was not something that I had seen really talked about.
It's not.
And usually with that stuff, it's another piece of Houston footage.
Yeah, that's. Oh man, Matt Bourne's in here. Oh my.
Bourne was fucking awesome in the territories.
Yeah, that's I mean, maybe we'll talk about that some other time on File Under Fire, but not today because we haven't watched it, and that I mean, apparently people do watch matches live while we're recording the podcast, but
oh yeah, that was a good match, by the way.
Yeah.
Also, Brady, I got it. I think I can send it to you right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you just DM it to me, I'll watch it after after the pod. Moving on to my pick of the week. It is Akira Kodo versus Suzuki Minami from AJW 7493. You know, I'm like, I'm thinking about it now, right? Like, as I'm kind of sitting here just looking at stuff while we're kind of talking about it. And it's crazy to watch a match like this and see the the difference, I guess, between like this match and a match like Butch Reed versus Junkyard Dog, which was a decade earlier, where you're talking about
Yeah, it's literally a decade earlier.
like
Yeah, that's right.
like you're talking about like dropkick being like a a big move, where like here like they're killing each other with like moves they would Junkyard Dog and Butch Reed wouldn't even have thought of. You know what I mean?
This is also the old team, the Marine Wolves. That's some shit I would make up. That's cool.
Yeah, that
That's
is.
what I was talking about when I said the hybrid
Yeah,
dolphins.
hybrid dolphins. Yeah,
All Japan tag team is the Marine Wolves. Well, that's true, but if we're gonna talk about that, we also have to mention that like it's All Japan women, so they're doing it in 1993, but like nobody else was doing it in
Yeah.
1993. This is like maybe like the innovation factory,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
is All Japan women. That's where like everything is being invented, and I think you can see it, and it even plays into this match. There are things about this style that I don't love, but Hakuto is like so awesome
I
that
feel
I
like
don't care.
I feel
Like
like I
she's
know
a
what you
very much a
mean.
me wrestler, but I would. You have to imagine, as far as what I've seen, this is maybe like the most physically demanding, and like devastating times and places
Yeah.
like ever. This style in 1993 All Japan, yeah, is one of the most absolutely brutal times and places to work. So it's the innovation factory and it's like the murder factory.
Yeah, because I mean, they literally start the match. Well, before that, actually, let's run it back here. Before the match even officially starts, obviously Hakodu comes out with the robe and the big wig on, as she always does.
Looking as awesome as any wrestler has ever looked. Again, Butch Reed levels of and Junkyard Dog levels of charisma.
And Suzuki tries to attack her with everything on, and then Hakodu reverses it, takes the wig part off. She tries it again. She reverses it again, and then she's like, "All right, let me get my damn robe off, and let's go, brother. Like this is
Yeah, she yells
time."
something at her, and the crowd laughs.
Yeah, I wish I could speak Japanese, so I knew what she said.
Hakuto is like just so impossibly cool.
Yeah, like you said,
I'm sure whatever she said was like fucking badass. But I also think it's telling like that's a funny and cool start, and I like it's how I remembered the match when you said you were
sent
picking. I
it.
said, "Is this the
Yeah.
one where this happens?" But it's like indicative of how Manami works this match. Is that she's like really desperate, and she's trying to hit big bombs, big bombs, because they were tag partners. They were very successful tag partners, and I think like probably like title wise, they're probably somewhere in the same level of like accolades, but Hakuto was like a tier above her in terms of like status.
And it's
Manami,
probably
I think, is somebody who's really underrated. Like she doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, but she
really.
by this point is kind of like uh, the upper mid card gatekeeper.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
they're very successful tag partners. They've just reformed their tag team, in fact, but they're not on the same level. And Manami is like
This is
she's aware of that.
this we should probably mention too. This is a tournament match.
Yes.
So it's not like this is like some random grudge feud, whatever.
Yeah.
Like this is a tournament match.
One of the most awesome tournaments ever. And
I won't lie. I
not
looked
for
at
nothing.
I looked at the whole tournament when I was thinking about because I knew I wanted to bring a Hakoto match, but I was like,
sorry.
I was like, what match do I want to bring? And this
David Malenko.
I looked at
That would have been good.
I thought about
Uh-huh.
it.
So when you start looking though at like 1993 Akira Hokuto, that is widely regarded, and for once, conventional wisdom is correct. Like perhaps the greatest year that any wrestler has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Hakuto's 93 is outrageous. I implore any of you to go look at what Akira Hakuto's resume was in 1993 and try to find maybe Flair 89. I don't know what else is in the conversation, but
I'm bad with shit like that. I don't know.
So
Yeah.
am I.
it's whatever year Kabashi has the big Noah reign, although stylistically I tend to like this a lot better, even though it has some of the same problems. The matches are shorter mostly.
I'm gonna say Mr. Niebla is 1999.
There you go.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
whatever you come up with, whatever people are yelling at us right now, Steve Austin 2001, Hakuto's 93 is at least there and maybe better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean she's I mean flat out she's just fucking fantastic. Like one of maybe one of
Yes.
the best wrestlers of all time, and I don't mean that in like a throw around way. Like genuinely I've never
and
I've never turned on a
definitely
Kodo match that I didn't like. Is the best way I think I can put it.
yeah, and if you don't want to go that far, at least you can say like top 5 highest peaks ever.
Yeah.
And I believe like that is a false narrative. Like I love her late career stuff in Gaia.
Oh yeah. I think
Like, there's this perception that
we've watched the
yeah.
Mako match. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and it's unbelievable. But at least one of the best peaks ever, if not one of the best wrestlers ever. And she's in full swing. Her 93 is in full swing. It makes sense that Manami comes out of the gate hot like that. And even though like Hakuto gets the big laugh as soon as the match starts, Manami has her on the floor smoking her with a crazy tope.
yeah, and then she does like a
And then
bomb.
power bombing her to hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Akira is like the best wrestler to watch if you want to like see someone get dropped on their head and neck because she does it every match always. It's very cool.
One of the things I thought was really cool about this match is that like even though like we've talked about like Hakoto is like a tier above, right? She even though like she is that tier above, she is that ass kicker. When Manami does get her offense, she's afraid. Like Akira Hakoto is like afraid of the offense that is getting given to her. She's not just like taking it or no selling it. She's just like she's like, damn, I'm getting my ass whooped.
I think Akira is one of those wrestlers that always incites a more vicious side in her opponents because it's like almost like a fight or flight response. Because
Yeah, you got to match it because she's feral.
She's gonna smoke
And
you. Yeah.
Yeah. But she also throws herself like so recklessly into bumping, and so yeah, it's just an all-time like fun to watch wrestler, crazy charisma, one of my favorites. So Brady, both again, 10 out of 10. You guys know me well.
Yeah, and
also one of the coolest looks ever, bro. Like not even contested.
I did I don't think I sent the thumbnail into the group chat, but like I did put the picture of her like from the interview portion, like in the beginning, not the end, the beginning, to be specific, with the whole like get up on. Also because I wanted the interviewer
Where she's talking about the guy with like the guy with one of the most beautiful
mullets ever. Yes, dude.
And then for some reason when it fades in, it's a Star of David.
I don't understand that, but yeah, but like
it is. It like the wipe is Star of David.
But the dude's mullet made me forget about all of that. If that's any consolation, because dude, that mullet is fucking fantastic.
Flawless.
Yeah, but like she's just all time look. Some of the others, she does that hand stomp like pretty early in the match.
Yeah, she starts with a little hand work, or she moves to the knee, which is bandaged, and both of their knees are bandaged, of course, because as I said, this is like you just die when you're in All Japan Women.
Yeah,
You just wrestled. 250 days a year and and get
Get
murdered every night.
beat the fuck up, yeah. Everybody's smoking you on every. Oh, dude, yeah. So she
Pile
like
drivers on the floor as transition moves.
like when I picked this match, right? Like I was watching it at work, and like I always I don't want to say I always watch wrestling at work, but when I do watch wrestling at work, every once in a while, like my coworkers will walk over and like see me watching it, and so like anytime I'm watching like any Joshi stuff, no matter what the era is, they're always like, "Oh, it's women," and then especially if I'm watching this, like if I'm watching All Japan Women's, I'm like, "Yeah, just watch for a minute," and then they'll do something like nutso, and in this case, it was that hand stomp that makes my coworkers go, "Oh my god!" And every time it is consistently funny to me because it's just like like they're not expecting it. They're like in their head, women's wrestling is like 90s, early 2000s, like WWE, like whatever the sexist ass bullshit.
Yeah.
Like in their head, that's what it is, right? It's bra and panties or mud wrestling, whatever in the fuck, the bullshit. And so then it's like you show them this shit.
Puppies.
Yeah, you show them this shit where it's just fucking her getting like these two just dog walking each other, and they're just
Yeah.
like,
And
what?
these matches, and this is short for an All Japan Women's match of this era, which is a perfect reason to pick a tournament match. But it like they always sort of end in bomb throw. But that is Manami's strategy here.
Mm-hmm.
So like where we talked about the Mako Satomura match, she's fighting for her life. Like it almost feels after the open of this that like Hakuto is fighting for.
Yeah.
And that's not a position that you find her in a lot. Like, so she's consistently getting smoked with these like sudden vicious things. There's a tilt a whirl backbreaker. There's like a crazy
That shit
ass
was
double
dope.
underhook backbreaker that is like so quick and lethal. And so when she gets a chance to throw stuff, she's doing crazy ass shit too. But like I lost count of how many fucking like power bombs
Dude, they do
and
a
power drivers.
they do a vertical
They're
suplex to the
killing
outside where it genuinely looks like Hakoru lands on her neck on the floor. Like there's a
She lands on her
pad.
face and neck.
Yeah,
like face first on her neck.
there's a pad, like there's two separate pads on the floor, and like because probably just from people walking around on them or whatever, they've kind of like split apart, and there's a gap, and that is right where Hakoru's head lands, bro. Like it's like,
And it's so awesome. They have like said the best like struggle ever over that suplex,
yeah,
and then it ends that way, and
and
it's
then
like so raw.
yeah, and then she fucking gets up on the top rope and does that like,
Kills her with a diving senton. Yeah,
yeah, she hits the senton. Manami hits like a crazy German. Dude, something I really need to talk about here is the two pile drivers on the floor run from each of them.
madness.
Fucking looks nasty.
Hakodu's is like it's so weird, right? Because Hakodu's is like short. Like that's how I
It's
wrote
like
it.
the stump puller one, you know. It's like the Terry Funk like.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
she doesn't, like she doesn't choreograph it at all. She
That's
doesn't
one of the
like.
craziest moves, bro. When she does the jumping pile driver, snap pile driver shit. Whew.
She just like grabs her by the waist and sits down. Like that's all she fucking does, dude.
Jump, sit down.
Yeah, like it's insane.
And that's kind of what I mean about how this is not. There are things in this style that I don't love because there are a couple times where like she hits that early in the match and Manami like immediately gets up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where
I'm not killing the business, man. What
5
the
years
fuck?
before they're taking you to the emergency room if you catch a pile driver.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't like I don't care because it's so fucking
It's
awesome.
sick, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like similar to like in previous weeks with us doing this, right? And like us bringing a match for somebody else, but like this is still very much a me match, right? In the sense of like
yeah.
it's still got that kind of very like high intensity, crazy bombs, all the stuff that I love. And like, obviously you guys enjoy it as well, but like it's still like emblematic of me. Same thing with like I feel like Dom's match, while it's like tailored to you, it is still, has some things that are very Dom based.
Yes.
Even if you want to get real simple about it, which is just dog. Um,
Dog and good punches and stiff. I mean,
yeah.
stiff, yeah.
So it's like,
Stiffness is
Yeah,
all good.
mean as hell.
so like
And this one is
Yes.
too.
this.
And I love the Manami going for the power bombs and Hakuto reversing them. She does one with the head scissors, but she does a crazy power bomb reversal where she just like rides her down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
picks her up for the power bomb and she has her like on her shoulders, and Hakuto just like
Leans
falls
forward. Yeah,
Yeah, and rides her down. But
dude.
then she gets up and hits like her power driver and smokes her for a
Mm.
2 count, and that's really the point. I think like after that big German you talked about is when it turns into like an absolute like
Slugger
frantic bomb
bombs.
fest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. And like she hits what did you fucking named it in the group chat and I already forgot
the
about it.
power drive. Oh, the Northern Lights bomb.
Yeah, the Northern Lights driver. It's not really a
Yeah. It's a Northern Lights driver. Yeah,
Yeah,
and she's like falling backwards while she does it,
yeah, like
which I think also plays into the match. Like it's frantic from her because she hits a couple big power bombs at the end, but if you were gonna like tally up the kill shots, Manama actually had like a lot more in this match.
yeah, it's uh, you know, something you've obviously talked about a lot and I think it kind of plays into this being a you match, right? Is like she it's not a pretty move, right? It's a struggle to get her up, and it is just like, okay, I need to get her onto her neck as fast as possible. Like that is like,
But then when she does, she's the dangerous queen,
mm-hmm.
and she knows she just killed her, and she kneels on her for the pin
Dude,
after really like fighting for her life for like 20 minutes.
yeah, dude, I loved it so much. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I was really hyped watching it, like when getting ready to pick it, and then like I knew before I even got to the finishing sequence I was picking it kind of match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was one of those like, oh yeah, let's check this out, and then like you get like a part of the way through it and you're so surefire about it that I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna finish the match, but this is the match I'm picking. Like that's where I'm at with it, and that was kind of the perfect case here. Yeah, like
What was your favorite thing in this match?
The awesome pile drivers and stuff.
Yeah.
some of the favorite Dom things, all the stiff stuff, all the
I
or the
like it
one
when it's
German.
stiff, yeah. There was a nice German, and I gotta watch more Joshi, and I will probably bring more. I'm gonna watch more Arshin, Hiromi Yagi, and Yoshida, and Kyoko. I'm gonna do all that.
And if I guess pull back the curtain a slight tad bit. If we're doing like a bring whatever week with next week, I might bring I might bring some like some Ayako Mata stuff or something. I don't know. Like I just
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
like I'm not. I have kind of come to it's like that point in I think what everyone goes through brain where like you want to watch wrestling because you're like so involved in wrestling, but then you're like, about it.
Yeah.
You're like, it's
Yeah, just bring something that you think is fun. Don't even
Yeah,
bring
But
so-
something else.
that's why I think it's fun and valuable to like these weeks that we've done, and I know we talked about like chasing down what you like.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to watch everything.
Yeah,
You know, you don't like when you are able to like figure out the stuff that you like and the wrestlers that you like, and you lose that pressure of like watching everything, and you lose that like main event mindset. Like I have to watch the great classics. Like it
Yeah.
becomes a lot more fun of a hobby.
I mean, like,
Just like this is what I like, and this is who I want to watch, and like I want
Yeah.
to watch Junkyard Dog headbutt Butch Reed, and I want to watch Ayako kill and die,
yeah, and like this is
Yeah.
and I want to
this I think is like a perfect example of that what you're saying, like that main event mindset thing of like,
yeah. You could go through literally. There were if you asked somebody name a Akira Hokuto 1993 match, they might bring up a different Suzuki Minami match. This one probably won't come up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
You know? It's
Uh-huh.
incredible.
Exactly. Like that's kind of the point, I think, too, of like I guess I don't want to say what we're doing here, but like, I don't want to sound like real obvious or anything, but like, like you said, aborting that kind of main event, big match mindset. Like this is kind of.
Yeah, we've done some canon matches, but
Mm-hmm.
typically we don't. It's a lot more fun to talk about these things that have not been talked about as much. And Minami is a perfect
I love
example
talking
of
about
that.
things like
Suzuki
that.
Minami probably has 100 of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where
Uh-huh.
there are 5 matches on the show that the AJW show that people will talk about before they talk about the Minami match, but she's
Whooping
out there
ass
just
in it.
shredding it up. Yeah, like every night.
Yeah. Well, like that's kind of what we want here, right? Like we just want to talk about good wrestling. And
Yeah, and it plays into we'll talk about it when we get to our email that we got,
yeah.
right? But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're not. It would be very easy to come on here and talk about the canon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or
And
I mean,
no,
not to say anything bad about it, but like I've seen, like there's a podcast where they talk about like what are the 100th greatest matches ever or stuff like that, and like,
yeah.
I mean, not for anything. We're at this last match we're about to talk about here is our 71st match we've talked about on this podcast
Wow.
in just about 6 months, that we've been doing this pod.
Please clap. Put in the Jim Bush.
Yeah.
Please clap.
Please clap.
Like, now granted, there's some random stuff in here,
Please add a little fart sound.
like the backyard week we had, obviously, was
That made him fucking laugh hard.
the backyard week we had, I guess, if you want to get, if people want to get on their little high horse about it or whatever, but even still, like, we're not watching matches every week that are like are the canon matches. Hell, I would say there's a large amount of like matches we've talked about that are not that.
I guarantee you nobody has ever gone on a podcast and talked about that indie lucha match that Dom brought.
Oh,
Of course, or Black Buffalo.
yeah,
Or Black Buffalo, yeah.
those I can guarantee actually.
I'm gonna bring more Osaka Pro at some
Tom may have
point.
talked about Black Buffalo on the Scramble Bunkhouse Deathcast.
Maybe, yeah, but
There's a possibility.
Rich, I mean, bro, he's so cool, bro. I love
But
him. I love Osaka Pro.
Having gone on this spiel and patting ourselves on the back for 5 minutes, I did bring a universally recognized
you did.
Yeah.
all-time great match from the 1988 Wrestling Observer newsletter feud of the year.
It is Midnight Express versus the Fantastics. This specific match happened in JCP 32788. This is a
First Clash of the Champions.
So explain, because you kind of were explaining it in the group chat. They did a match a week earlier under the Clash of Champions banner, but then aired it the day before this match. Is that what you were saying?
They did. So the Fantastics were coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd been hyping them up on TV. And their first match in Jim Crockett Promotions was what they called a special challenge match against the Midnight Express. It was a house show, but they taped it.
Okay.
And you can find that match. It didn't happen the day before, but it aired on,
Right.
I think, World Championship Wrestling the day before.
Because
But it was the story of that. That is a fantastic match too, but it is very long.
Yeah, like if you type in, like, literally, if you go on YouTube, because this is how I found it, which is if you type in Midnight Express versus Fantastics Clash of Champions, it is the first thing that comes up. Literally, like the first
So maybe it was on. I don't know if they did it like the Bash tour or Clash of the Champions tour. I don't know exactly what they're calling it, but I know that it was. You can find the full match. It was on 2 of the syndicated Crockett shows in separate formats. But I know it was on World Championship Wrestling because they ran an angle on that. It was that aired the day before this. Basically, the gist of it is that the Midnights had dismissed the Fantastics as Jim Cornette kept calling them like. You'll notice the commentary talks about them as like youngsters and young men. Even though they'd been around for a while, they had feuded with not this iteration of the Midnights, but all right, let me do the Aubie zoom out historical context.
Yeah, the best part of the pod.
History teacher thing.
Yep.
Not the only part with any substance.
The Fantastics are one of the many copies of the Fabulous One. The Fabulous Ones were the first pretty boy, rock and roller, sex appeal for like the younger female fans type tag teams. They were formed. Fabulous Ones were Steve Kern and Stan Lane. And
Sweet Stan Lane, baby.
Yeah, but as a babyface, right? Great tag team. Incredible run, but as with anything, especially in the territories, but like through all time, if something works, what do? You steal it, you copy it, right? The Rock and Roll Express, the Rockers, right? So the Fantastics are, I think it goes Fabs, Rock and Roll, and then Fantastics.
Gotcha.
So the Fantastics had feuded with the Midnight Express in Houston and in World Class, but that was the Bobby Eaton, Dennis Condrey version of the Midnight Express. And it at some point, Condrey, because working conditions in Crockett or whatever were shitty, sort of just walked out, and he was replaced with one of the Fabulous Ones, Stan Lane.
Yeah.
So they had feuded before, but this is the first time the Eaton Lane version of the Midnight Express had feuded with Fantastic. So they like hint at that in the commentary for the first match, but they sort of sell the Fantastics as like basically teenagers, which is hilarious.
They're both definitely like 30.
Like
old ass men that pay taxes and do fucking cocaine.
Yeah, so the Rock and Rolls had like just left the territory. They went to Memphis and then they went to All Japan. So the Fantastics are coming. So they have this special challenge match. They're selling the Midnight Express is really like underselling the threat of the Fantastics. They think they're a joke. They end up losing that special challenge match. And Jim Crockett Jr. comes on World Championship Wrestling and says, you know, the Fantastics have proved themselves worthy of a North American tag title shot at Clash of the Champions. And Cornette goes crazy, and he says the timekeeper and the referee and the crowd were all paid off.
Yeah,
that's why they lost. So
Cornette is funny as shit in this match.
Yeah, and so they air the highlights of that match, the finish of the show, and a match on another. And it ends with a big brawl between the Fantastics and the Midnights, and so that's. Rolls into this match the next night live on TBS on the very first Clash of the Champions special, which was sort of intended as WWF counter programming. Big matches on cable, and so that's why we get the hot start.
Yeah, which we definitely start hot here. With well, before we get there anywhere, I got to talk about this goddamn Cornette sign. That was like so it's like however many letters Cornette is, 8 letters signed across. I was looking at my notes so I could count real quick. But it's like 8 people across. You said apparently the dude in the white hat wrote a book. I don't know what the fuck
Yeah, these are like famous heel fans, and really can trace a lot of like the annoying
Wrestling shit back to him.
Americans, quote unquote, smarky wrestling fans to this group of people specifically. This is in Greensboro. That guy
Naturally.
in the hat's name is John Hitchcock. He wrote a book called Row Section D because that group of heel fans basically owned Front Row Section D in Greensboro, and they taunted Dusty, they taunted Magnum,
Anybody
they
who
cheered the
was
heels, they
anybody
tried
who
to be
was
the show. Yeah, if you are my age, maybe a little younger, but really probably my age, I think his reign of terror ended when Bray Wyatt died because he was really disgusting about it. But there was a Torch columnist forever named Bruce Mitchell, who wrote for the PW Torch. He was sort of like the voice of the school fan in modern wrestling.
Okay.
Sort of like a you know, he was he's Meltzer, Killer, Scott Keith, Brian Alvarez. Bruce Mitchell is there with he was semi well known. He was in this group of heel fans,
Okay.
newsletter guys,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was their deal. At the shows in Greensboro, they would cheer the heels,
Quite
antagonize
literally.
the baby faces, and John
That's
Hitchcock wrote a
hilarious.
book patting himself on the back for being like homophobic towards Magnum TA and like trying to be the whole show. There's some very funny Dusty in there because Dusty is like the prime example, as a lot of people know, of like public facing babyface, but like one of the biggest dickheads in the world. So there's a lot of very funny Dusty stories in there. But yeah, that's sort of a famous group of fans in like the
In Greensboro.
Smark, for lack of a better word, like the newsletter,
I mean,
tape trader era community of wrestling fans.
Yeah, like I mean, this is like we said, '88, right? Like, this is effectively that, right? This is like these are smarks before there was a term for them, right?
Yeah, they're reading the Observer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Again, Bruce Mitchell will go to write for Torch. They are, if there was like whatever the modern equivalent of like Dave guys are, like the Midnight Express certainly was. And I don't mean that to denigrate them.
Yeah, because you love
I
the Midnight
loved them a
Express.
lot, but they were the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette were darlings of that early newsletter reading crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a lot of sense, right? This was the Wrestling Observer year. There's a 5-star match that comes out of this feud. There are multiple. I think all of the tag matches from this feud at least hit like the 4-star, minimum or whatever. So the Midnights are, for the time, and even now, a very innovative tag team, doing shit that certainly was never seen before, and in some cases, some of these matches, shit that I have not seen.
They're very fun to watch. Tag teams. I think you'd agree. Tag teams are probably the quintessential Aubie match type instead of singles, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would think that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm a tag team wrestling fan. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you did make an entire playlist about tags.
Tag team haters, baby.
Yeah, so like, I would go as far to say that.
Damn, I gotta check that fucking playlist out.
Yeah, I'm sure there's so much stuff in there that like I've also missed. So don't worry, you're not alone.
Dude, all those playlists probably have fucking gold.
If you, I've said this before, but like if you ask me what the best one is, it's probably that one. Either that one or the Lucha Brawls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this match is on that playlist because it's fucking
good.
insane.
It's sub 20.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's probably like 14 or 15 minutes, like total. Because it starts with, as you said, the Cornette sign, but Cornette comes out and does the stupid, very funny introduction of the Midnights. And like, I think I think like street cred wise, especially if you're my age, like in our circles, like you're supposed to say that you prefer. It's like you prefer the Dennis Condrey version of the Midnights.
Yeah.
I love Stanley. He is hilarious. He does white boy karate.
Yeah.
He stooges like crazy. He does like some of the wildest, like most innovative, like heel distraction double team spots ever.
Yeah.
He's like, just looking at him makes me laugh.
He's like the most vital, like the most vital part. I was going through and trying to hear what Cornette says as his intro, and
he says it's
every mother's nightmare and every schoolgirl's dream.
Yeah,
yeah, fucking like Jesus, fucking stupid. I feel like white boy karate is very common in one of these I feel like I see it more than I thought I would, where they do white boy karate and it's kind of funny, awesome.
I love fake wrestling karate is so awesome. And Stan Lane is like the best at it. He has those
Bart
savate
Briscoe's
kicks.
karate as fake white boy karate.
It definitely is fake white boy karate. He does like the Tenzan chops.
Yeah, dude.
That's a signifier of fake wrestling karate.
Yeah, the Midnights, like, I came out of this definitely knowing I need to watch more Midnight Express. No matter the version, I think. Before I get too,
and we've gushed about Stan Lane, but Bobby Eaton, you have two eyes and a heart. Also just incredible.
Yeah,
Alabama legend Bobby Eaton.
Before we get too deep, I do need to talk about the File Under Fire GOAT, Randy Anderson.
Yeah, do you know it? They should have respected Randy Anderson.
They should have respected Randy Anderson because
we tried to tell them if they had respected Randy Anderson, maybe this outcome.
It's escaping me which member of the Fantastics it is, but
it's Bobby Fulton.
He does not respect Randy at all. Actually, he throws
I don't blame him by the time he gets to that point.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, the match starts off hot. So is everything meant to be legal here?
I think that just the bell hasn't rang yet. Like the Fantastics are introduced, and before like the bell actually rings, they just come out and start this crazy brawl with chairs and tables.
Cornette's
going nuts.
Cornette's hitting people with chairs.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like they're not going to DQ anybody because like match actually hasn't like started yet.
What the fuck does Cornette have that he swings as hard as he can and nails someone in the face?
It's a tennis racket.
Bro, that shit had to suck.
It sounds awful.
One thing that I noticed is that everything here is definitely snug and looks snug and stiff, but like it probably was all pretty safe, right? Like
the book on Eaton is that he has like the best looking punches ever and also like the lightest punches ever.
Yeah, they were open hand slap palms.
And all of his offense, right? Like the Alabama Jam looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But it's supposed to be that's what Bobby Eaton is, a wrestler's wrestler, right? Like where and fans love him too, but like he does all that stuff that looks so good, so sick, and he looks so mean, and it's like supposedly light as a feather. I don't know about like I think Stan was smoking him on some of those kicks.
Yeah.
And I think that some of the Bobby Fulton punches were also
for sure
nasty. And they're tattooing each other with chairs and stuff.
Dude, they
start this. And as you said, Cornette, like when he can sneak one in without retribution, he's laying them in too.
Mm-hmm. He literally does put belt to ass.
Yes, he does.
Like
for a while.
Yeah. Like I was like, oh, he's still fucking doing it? Damn.
And that figures into a match later where they do a title versus lashes match.
Oh Jesus. Man.
Yeah.
Dude, like barring all the extra shit and all the like kind of more not to be so obvious here, but fantastical brawling and all the heel stuff. Like, when the parts of this that are worked as just a regular tag match are so fucking good.
Yeah, well, it settles in. They do all that stuff, and then they kind of settle into the match, and Jesse makes the comment like, "Okay, we have like a match, a tag team match."
Mm-hmm.
But Midnight's are like the Midnight's offense is so good.
Yeah.
The stand kicks, the power slam, they both of them hit like these crazy hang time ups. All the double team moves are fucking crazy. And then Rogers and Bolton are like super athletic.
Mm-hmm.
They look really good. Everything they do.
Yeah, these guys are so athletic for their fucking dad bods.
Tommy Rogers is like
Cut.
primo beefcake, dude.
Yeah.
He looks like a nail dancer.
Dude,
R.I.P.
all big penises.
Tommy Rogers also. Yeah, yep. Again, just hanging dong. All these guys.
100%.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier. Yeah, yeah, we get it.
Okay, we'll do it again.
All right, yeah, go off, brother.
Yeah, all these guys got big hogs.
I mean,
yep.
I've listened to.
I can imagine.
I've listened to a Cornette interview or two where they've asked him.
Of fucking course.
Where they've asked him what it was like for the Midnight Express.
He said, "Yeah, buddy, big giant penises."
Stan Lane was so hot that Lauren Boebert's mother sued him for paternity.
Jesus.
Yeah, are you guys aware of that piece of
no.
Midnight Express?
No.
You know Lauren Boebert, the Arizona congresswoman?
Yes.
I just
the Colorado congresswoman. She's
Yes,
a really nasty MAGA freak.
Yeah.
Wait, is this was this the lady who
She's
was
the one
in
who was
theater?
like jerking her husband off.
Yeah, in the theater.
Yeah.
Okay, yep,
Yeah.
I'm now familiar.
Yes, her mother told her throughout her childhood that Stan Lane was her father, and he had to take 2 DNA tests to prove it wrong. And it turned out, I think, here's another piece of Midnight Express lore. There is a fake Stan Lane. There's a guy who has like lived life like 20 or 30 years pretending to be Stan Lane.
What do you mean? Like, how was he pretend? Like, did he?
He just said, "I'm Stan Lane."
But like, did he look the same? Like,
a little.
Like, is this guy like? Is he like?
He probably like. I think he like worked some some shitty indies like as Stan Lane, like the fake Stan Lane, and
yeah, like he just chose Stan Lane as a name, so then he can be like, I'm the wrestler Stan Lane, and like,
yeah, and fuck Lauren Boebert's mom and spawn one of the demons of our time.
So was that actually?
She gave a whack ass hand job.
Hold on,
sorry.
Question.
When she goes on cable news, she has where she has like all these like big like AKs and shit behind her. She's that kind of nasty.
That's gay.
Ignoring how nasty of a person she is for a second, is the fake Stan Lane actually her dad?
I don't know.
I mean, he's not real Stan Lane, so.
But the real Stan Lane is not her dad because he would never. He would.
Well, he would.
He would fuck Lauren Boebert's mom. He may have. He probably did.
There's a chance. But, maybe she.
I don't blame her because he's awesome, and they do some really sick double team moves. I love the blind tag. They called it the double goozle, where the blind tag's eaten in, and then chop block lariat thing.
Dude, that looked so fucking good. Yeah.
So sick. I don't know why everybody doesn't do that.
Dude, that was so much stuff here was like I don't know. It's just a perfect tag stuff. I don't know. I kind of love this match. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, Eaton and Stan. I'm so glad because we had talked about this was your first Midnight's match, right?
Correct. It was.
Yeah. They do this every time. Like just the smartest, best laid out. Stan Lane is the absolute master at ref distraction. Like he plays Randy Anderson
like a fiddle.
And he plays Bobby Fulton like a fiddle.
Dude.
Because they keep pissing him off, and he tries to come in, and Tommy Rogers is just getting absolutely murdered. And he cannot cross the prime meridian of the ring, right?
Uh-huh.
Like they keep him in their corner and they just work his ass.
They yeah, the way that like they piss they like go through and like piss him off, like working over Tommy Rogers. Like the it's so good, and then like the way it leads to the finish of like finally like Holden just gets so mad that he comes in, throws Randy Anderson out the ring.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch, fuck.
Respect. Well, because he didn't see the tag.
Yeah, exactly.
After 10 minutes of just like absolutely Stan Lane just like owning
Dying.
his ass. Yeah, and Tommy Rogers like is, and I love he does this in a couple of these matches. I love how Tommy Rogers sells the exhaustion. There's like an Irish whip they do where he like is not really running, like he looks like he's about to fall down.
Yeah.
And then he just gets smoked. And Eaton's punches are unreal. Tommy Rogers' little mini comebacks are fucking great. I love the spot. I've never seen this before or since, where Cornette holds up the table. And they slam Tommy Rogers' face into the table.
It's such a simple
while
thing,
Stan
too.
Lane is distracting. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Dude.
Bruh, the body slam onto the table, probably a better bump than just straight onto the concrete, huh?
And it sounds so awesome.
Yeah.
He looks too like the like this goes the same way of the first match, which I thought was a really fun like cycle of like doing the Dusty, both guys having the like where two refs coming out and like them disagreeing. Like
Yes, this is the true Dusty finish where you get the hot tag that isn't, and you get the the cum shot where the baby faces win, but then you have it stolen away from them, yanked out of their hands because they did not respect
Randy Anderson, baby.
You have to respect Randy Anderson,
Gotta
bruh.
respect Randy Anderson. Yeah,
But you still get the, even if it's illegitimate, you get the Bobby Fulton hot tag, and it's sweet, and it ends with a big ass rocket launcher, which is really cool because both of these teams do a rocket launcher as a finisher.
I had to take a peek, cut this out. I'm sorry.
Just gonna put that in the little gimmick there. What's going on, Aubie?
I'm glad you like this match, bro.
I'm also glad I watched this match, and liked it.
Midnights are so great. They're one of those that like deserve the reputation. And I bet it's so funny because as much as Dave loved them at the time, this is one of those things. Watch this, he would like it less.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like as his tastes have kind of.
Yeah. Well, he says, like, he has like literally openly said that if he went back and watched old stuff, he would rate it lower because his scale and his rating criteria is
like a long ass pee. Sorry, I cut you right off. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was just talking about Dave's weird deal where he can't like appreciate old wrestling in context, and he thinks that like it is only ever getting better.
Dave,
and that he like, yeah, eat my ass from the back, Dave.
Yeah, bro.
I'll leave that part in.
Please do.
Honestly, I could just leave all of this in, quite frankly. Fuck it.
Anyway, they should have respected Randy Anderson, and then we get even more like super heated madness.
Yeah, just keep building, baby, until you get to the blow off. It's something that wrestling has forgot how to do. They don't,
and they do ultimately win the belts from the Midnights. But I think the feud ends with a Midnight Express victory, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, that would...
But you do get the payoff. You get. There's a really fun handicap match where it's the Midnights and Cornette versus the Fantastics in like a bunkhouse brawl. So they're in the jeans, looking even hotter. Yeah, and then they do one where Cornette is suspended in the cage above the ring.
Classic.
Which is also very funny, but it's because he's really like the psycho one in this feud. He's like so offended and like it drives him insane that they lost that challenge match, and he takes it out on Bobby Fulton after the match.
Dude, I mean, I watched a little bit of that promo from the match before this one, right? And like, dude, yeah, like Cornette is not enraged.
He's out of his mind.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we knew that Cornette's been out of his mind, but like, yeah, he's like on one though, like in that promo. He's going crazy. That's
great. Great match, great feud.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't, because I love Richard Wendell Morton.
But
I would not argue with anyone who said that Between the Bells, the Fantastics were the best of the Pretty Boy tag teams, and maybe, I mean, you could legit like make an argument that they're the best Midnight Express opponents. Again, I wouldn't, but I wouldn't argue with it either.
Yeah, you wouldn't go to the lengths to tell somebody they're wrong, but you also aren't gonna say that that's right.
No, I just love Richard Wendell Morton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir Richard.
Yeah.
Moving on to the new best seg on the pod, Dom's Animal Corner.
Let's go.
Dom, tell us about tigers.
Tigers are cool. I picked tigers because of the Auburn Tigers. And Aubie the Auburn Tiger. Yep. Aubie the Auburn Tiger. I don't know who he is and why he's stealing your swag, but I think you might have to fight a tiger like gladiatorial times to.
I can't, dude. Rights. Aubie is like the most successful. Like, he's got more national championships than the football team or the fucking equestrian team or the swim team. Aubie is like the GOAT, dude.
They just give him all the awards because he's awesome.
He legitimately like regularly wins mascot national championships for whatever that is worth. I don't think.
Wait, they have that. Hold on, there's mascot championships?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Dude, don't you remember those commercials they did? Like, there was a good like full college football season a couple of years ago where they were constantly doing like the Capital One mascot.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't watch.
I don't think I remember this.
I don't watch college football. I'm an NFL only guy.
Gotcha.
Wow.
That's fine. I mean, I wouldn't if I didn't go to school there.
I don't even watch sports, bro. I'm a pussy.
Yeah, but you do know about animals. So what else do you know about
Holy
tigers?
Shit,
yeah, tell me about tigers, bro, man.
They are bigger. They're like, I'm pretty sure they're like the biggest big cat. Pretty basic stuff. Yeah, they're the biggest. They're bigger than lions and shit. They're
what all varietals do they come in?
There's like Siberian tiger, which there's Siberian tigers, which that's gotta suck. Imagine living in Russia, Siberia, and you gotta deal with the worst cold ever. Bears, and tigers. The fuck? That sucks. That sucks. Imagine if you could get taken up by a tiger.
Yeah, those had to be like the hardest people
alive. Yeah, like
anyone who actually like lived in Siberia by choice.
Tigers definitely are a ground case animal for why not friend if friend shaped.
They're cool.
Yeah, you see them at the zoo and you look like you want to give them a pet.
Yeah,
that's like every animal. But then you remember that technically, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I guess I don't know if the tiger. No, I don't think that's definitely not camouflage, but it definitely is probably some sort of biological thing because in nature, bright colors mean stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
So that definitely, awesome. Yeah, they're awesome.
Big cats are like among my favorite, outside of just the fact that I'm a homer for the school I went to.
Mm-hmm.
Big cats are like so cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost funny.
Yeah, they just sleep all day. They sleep all day, but you watch them sleep, or like just lay there and look at you, and like he wants to rip me apart, and he could do
Yeah,
it in
damn.
like 8 seconds.
These guys could, and that's big cats. Big cats are kind of like the prime evidence of like, if we did not have weapons, we would not even be close. If we didn't have our brains, we would not even be close to the apex of anything. I mean, it's not even funny how much stronger they are. Even like compared to like built guys, you couldn't win tug of war with a lion.
Oh no, they're just
or
like
a tiger.
That's another thing that's awesome about watching a big cat like at the zoo. They're just like muscle and skin.
They are all muscle. You can bro.
Oiled muscle.
They could fucking, and it's not like they're gonna take you out fast. They would probably be the worst death ever because they're probably just gonna bite you into your skull and shit. It's like, ugh, would hurt. I don't know. Being eaten alive, probably one of the scariest deaths ever.
Yeah, but that would be cool. That would be cool though, like, cause I mean, hey, like, comment, subscribe. We're all gonna die.
It's true.
I would love to get my head crushed by a Bengal tiger.
I don't know. I would be too scared because it would hurt too much for 100%.
Yeah,
I mean, I really want to die in my sleep, but like, if I do, I'm putting this out into the universe. If I do get my head crunched by a Bengal tiger,
it wouldn't be that bad.
Put that on my tombstone.
He was okay with this.
Witness me. Yeah. This guy died in a rad way.
Yeah.
Shit like other animals that would suck to die by, all of them.
That would be a crazy story, right? Like, it's like, it's like...
Grandpa got eaten by a tiger.
My dad got his head crushed. That's way better, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
got eaten by a tiger.
Yeah, it's like your options are like, oh yeah, he died from cancer, or oh yeah, he tried to pet a tiger and just got killed, just mauled.
It ate his ass. He went out into his garage to turn over the laundry, and there was
a fucking tiger in Alabama. Honestly, probably not even that far fetched.
There's, listen.
Hey, shit, I'm in Portland right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
this is technically.
If you like, genuinely, you could convince me that someone in Alabama owns a tiger. I think there's like
probably because for crazy people, that's like immediately the number one animal to own. Because I feel like
everybody was yelling at us last week about
Tiger King.
I know Jay was. Shout out Jay.
Yeah, shout out Jay.
But yeah, tiger. That's Florida, so.
Yeah,
the Florida Panhandle is basically Alabama.
You're pretty close.
Tigers also make for good wrestling templates. When's the last time you
seen?
Yeah, with Mac the Mask. When's the last time you seen a tiger something and he was pretty bad or boring?
Tiger Mask 4, one of the.
I know, yeah. He nugified, but he was cool. He was cool as fuck.
No. I mean, I was saying rocks. What's the guy from Tekken? What's the guy from Tekken?
King?
Oh, King.
Yeah, King.
What's the?
He's cool as shit.
What was the tiger character from
Arshan? Right?
Oh, Tiger Dream.
Yeah, that one kind of.
That was Candy Akutsu.
Yeah,
that
was awesome.
That one. Cool gimmick.
Excuse me. Sorry.
That one cool gimmick, poor execution. I think.
They probably should just capture his Candy.
Or they probably.
No, the Tiger Dream matches are cool though.
They are definitely cool.
They are. I think the problem with the Tiger Dream thing is that they like made it such a big deal and basically forced Candy to like work a specific way.
Yeah, she had to do the Tiger Mask spot.
I wish there were a lot more older masked Joshi gimmicks. Because I feel like there are not many. Because I mean, you have like Bolshoi, and that's like the only one that kind of stuck around, huh?
I mean, I can't even really think of any.
In terms of older ones. Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Because I was just thinking, like, there was like Blizzard Yuki, who was cool as fuck, because cool mask, and then Tiger Dream, cool mask.
Tiger Dream.
This is a hidden.
There should be more masked Joshi wrestlers who aren't Stardom.
Tiger Dream, honestly.
Yeah, who are Dark Starlight Kid, who I don't want to watch them because they probably are ass.
Starlight Kid, almost a tiger.
They're ass, yeah. Well, they're ass. I'm
just trying to bring it back around here, brother. I'm just saying.
No, I know tigers are cool.
like Starlight Kid's mask,
Yeah, almost
basically
a tiger.
basically a tiger mask.
Shout out Tiger Mask. Shout out Tiger Mask 4.
Shout out Tiger Shark just off name because I'm pretty sure you're actually kind of mid.
Hey, that's a cool gimmick though.
Cool. No, yeah, sick gimmick.
There's gotta be some.
Shout out Tiger Jeet Singh. I think I already said that.
You did say
Yeah.
that, but I mean, no,
Black Tiger, Eddie Guerrero.
Black Tiger,
Yup.
yeah.
Black Tiger, Silver King.
Tiger Conway.
I don't even know Tiger Conway. I'm gonna be real with you.
That's some old school shit.
I'll have to be
Didn't
informed.
Kota Ibushi do a?
Oh, he was
Tiger
Tiger Mask W, I think.
You know who we're forgetting?
Who?
Previous File Under Fire wrestler, super underrated. Extreme Tiger.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, dude.
He's so fucking cool. I think he just has the coolest
Tigre
mask.
Uno.
Yeah.
Awesome wrestler.
Tigre Uno. They really had him named Tigre Uno, bro.
He's a TNA victim.
Tiger.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Tiger's cool both in real life and also in wrestling. And also
Tiger's mask in Osaka Pro. Yep.
He is a baseball guy.
The awesome baseball guy.
I know we talked about that, but he's like a fan of anywhere jersey of one of the. I know Dweeb, if he's listening, is mad. I think he's a Tiger.
What is it? The Hanshin Tigers, whatever the fuck that's just called. I think it might that shit up. I don't know. But you are right. He is wearing He's wearing a baseball outfit, and baseball outfits I think make for really cool gear. Case in point, Black Buffalo.
There you go.
Moving on, Dom. It is your pick for the cage match game.
It is, and I want to let you all know. I did this last second because I forgot, and this is no way.
I realized it as we were sitting here doing the episode that I completely, because like normally I like, no matter who it is, I will make sure like we send a little reminder like before we record to like make sure whoever is picking has a wrestler, and I did not do that at all. So, because
I'm just saying.
Obviously,
yeah.
We're recording.
I'm just saying,
don't night.
do. Yeah, Monday night. We always do it Sunday. I'm just saying, don't go super Aub influence because I just kind of did this on the fly. You guys might get this immediately. I don't know. I pick shitty ones. Maybe. Who knows? Lol. LOL. Ha.
Hey, well, it's
we love you.
I love you. Thank you guys.
Believe in yourself, bro.
Yeah,
you're true. You're right.
Believe in yourself. It's okay.
Dom is showcasing imposter syndrome, but
you're right.
Dom is so goated.
Thank you, bro. Thank you guys. You guys ready?
Yeah. What is your first review? Hold on. Give me your overall rating. My fault. Yep.
Rating is a 7.39.
Oof. So they are good, but not the best in the world.
Well, that could also mean that they're like raw as hell.
And cage match is stupid.
Yeah, cage match is wrong.
You know the rule of sevens that we've talked about.
Correct. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just gonna say Norman Smiley.
Nope. I mean, nope. That's funny though. That's a good guess.
That's a really good guess. Scott Norton.
No, but also a pretty good guess.
All right, give us the first review.
One of the better outside guys transitioning into pro wrestling. Dude had the look like he could kick the crap out of anyone, and his crazy psycho rage worked well. He was only lacking the promo department. If he stuck around longer, he could have had a nice little feud with Blank. That's it.
Okay, so outside guy, so it came from a different sport or discipline. And he had poor promos. That's
like 90% of the outside guys that come in fairness.
So I'm going to guess that this is an American guy and not a Japanese guy, because who on Cage Match would...
Yeah, talk about their promos.
Yeah, the promos were good. An outside guy. Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, okay, you got it.
God damn! I was gonna go Mongo.
I bet he's way lower, dude. I bet Mongo is
Yeah.
in the 4s because people are so stupid.
Holy. Okay. Well, that's.
Friend of the program, Lawson sent me one of the funniest tweets ever one time that was about like somebody like a dumbass person watching a Mongo match. Like crowd keeps going crazy every time Mongo, and I guess they're football fans.
No, bro, Mongo's just awesome.
Yeah, no,
Stupid.
Mongo is so sick.
So, updated score. Aubie with that now
Mongo,
goes.
do you want to know what Mongo is?
Sure.
What?
2.35.
Fucking hell, dude.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bro.
So
I will come to your house. I'll
Yup.
piss fucking.
We'll piss on you, shit, bro.
Aub
Yeah, I'll piss
now
on you.
goes to 7 points. Whew. Which means he is dangerously close to being able to win the series of the cage match game.
Who was it that they said he should? Dom Dan Severn?
Kurt Angle for
Kurt Angle.
for who's the better wrestler shoot fighter, which it's probably Shamrock.
It's probably Shamrock.
I was the final review I was gonna do if you guys somehow didn't get it, but I had a feeling you were gonna get it, was when he initially came to WWF. I was gonna go blank. He was absolute money. He just looked like he would murder anyone who stood in front of him, and of course he could have for real. The introduction match against Vader was great. I feel like that would have probably given at least Aubie the spike.
Iggy-
Those matches are so good. Have you ever heard Shamrock talk about those matches?
No, what did he say? I heard that he was like, I didn't really know what to do, so I was just fucking.
Yeah,
for real.
he was just he like he didn't know he wasn't supposed to lay him in, and then Vader gave him some receipts that he didn't even like real receipts.
Yeah.
They were like, God damn, Vader like laid him into you, and he was like, well.
That's wrestling, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
the
I
most.
mean, he was probably in so many. All his shoot fights at this point already happened and were extremely violent, right? So he's probably just like that. Well, that's fine. But Vader
he just didn't know how to pull a punch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
But
like
they did it twice. They did. There's a is it
if you're gonna stiff somebody,
is it PWFG?
at least it's Vader though, right? Like if you're gonna.
Yeah, I mean Vader just would. I'm not gonna say Vader would fuck him up in a fight, but he could probably land some shots.
To quote,
It just shows you how beast Ken Shamrock was. He didn't realize that.
He was just like, oh, okay, I didn't
that
know
he was
that
getting
was
Vader receipts because anybody else in the world got Vader receipts.
to
like
quote,
very much knew it.
To
It was
quote Stan
FMW.
Hansen,
They did it in FMW.
Really?
They did. Yeah, they did. If you've seen the WWE in your house,
I think I've seen that one. Between them.
It's really awesome. I think that's the one he's talking about. They do like the no hold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they did it. No, it's after. I don't know. Let me see.
I didn't even realize
Yeah,
they
no, it was
had
after.
that in
was
FMW.
First. That was first. They did it. They did it in FMW later. They're both fucking sick.
dude. To quote Stan Hansen on Vader, it's Leon was known to throw a few potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes.
And then
ask his wife.
And then Hansen, threw.
Fuck.
Hansen threw a few back, and then before you know it, Vader's eye was out of its socket.
Yeah, good.
I didn't know that about Vader. I'm not necessarily surprised, but
No, Vader again, like we talked about. We don't have to do a disclaimer about every wrestler who's a bad person. Vader, one of those guys who started believing his own gimmick and huffing his own.
Man, you're big and fat. Fuck you, Vader.
Well, that was part of his gimmick too. I'm a big fat piece
Yeah.
of shit. I'll never forget that. Burned into my memory.
Yeah.
I'm a fat piece of shit.
I ain't nothing but a fat piece of shit.
Before we get out of here, we did get a letter.
We did.
We just got a letter. Wonder who
Shout
it's
out.
from.
Wait, we didn't do Dude of the Week, did we?
No, I was gonna do this before we did Dude of the Week.
Fuck, my fault. I spoiled it.
No, you're fine. That's real. This is live on pod. In fairness, I make I make the little format gimmick every week for the pod, and like this, I made the format, and then Aub sent this to to the group chat. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna edit it. I'll just throw it in. Like in my head, I was like, I'll just throw it in before we do the Dude of the Week. Our good friend, I'm gonna start calling him that now. Our good friend
he is,
Connor.
It's our buddy Connor.
Sent us an email and said, "Hey, File Under Fire dudes, just wanted to say that I'm honored to be awarded Dude of the Week 2 weeks in a row, officially making me the Tude of the Week." Spelled two, like two, the number 2, DE. Also, because I binge listened to the podcast over a few days, I still haven't watched most of the matches you guys have talked about, and I'm finally starting to rectify that. And it turns out that not only listening to the podcast fucking awesome, but also watching the wrestling you guys pick is really fucking awesome. It is helping me fight against some of my bad wrestling watching habits and exposing me to some stuff I might never have watched on my own. Thanks for the great pods and the great wrestling. Sincerely, Toot of the Week, Connor. P.S. What is the best wrestling hold? Is it a wrist lock, choke, or head scissor? So obviously there's a lot there. I'm assuming by Toot of the Week in this case, he's talking because we said dads last week. I'm going to assume he is a father, is what I'm assuming he means by that, because I don't think we intentionally made him a dude twice, did we?
We might have. I don't.
Well, we should have.
Yeah, we should have.
Maybe
we might have, bro.
Yeah.
I'm forgetful.
I don't know. I'm forgetful. I'm the one that writes all this shit down every week. It's whatever. But yeah,
you are now tuned into 3 ADHD men.
Yeah,
and have been for the last 22 weeks.
But Connor is our homie.
Yeah, our email homie. If you listened a few episodes ago when we read off his email that had us all dying laughing, and he asked a similar question in what is the best wrestling strike. This week he asked what is the best wrestling hold. But before we get to that, I do want to talk about what he said in the email about how it's kind of breaking him of some of his bad wrestling watching habits. And kind of like basically forcing him to watch stuff outside of his larger comfort zone, which I think is,
definitely what the situation we're in too.
Yeah, and it's the entire reason in which I wanted this podcast to exist.
Yeah, it's the concept behind the pod. When Brady spontaneously said we were having just a conversation, and Brady said, "Hey, this is a perfect."
This is a podcast.
We do, because as you said, we do have some. Obviously, we've shown that in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
there is overlap, but we are all coming at it from
different angles.
Different angles. Different. I'm old.
You.
Yes. Yeah. To put it lightly.
Brady is what? Fuck you, buddy.
All right, no.
I'm dying. I'm dead.
Because it's like the elephant in the room that like you're older, but like we never say it because it sounds rude.
I mean, you do.
I guess it's come on.
I'll start prefacing all my shit with I'm old.
You do have.
Yeah, I'm old. I didn't even realize it could come off like that.
You do have 15 years on me. I do like.
Yeah. Oh no, I know it, brother.
And I'm
shit. I said 20 minutes ago we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Anyway, you were saying so you're old.
Right.
I am.
Brady is knocking on the door.
Yep, he's getting there.
Yeah.
He's in the phone book. And Dom is in the prime of his life.
Yep.
Viral. Enjoy it.
Yeah, like
I am.
We all kind of look at things differently. We all kind of like it's like you said, the similar things. There's overlap, but like it all
We all
split.
hunt for different things too.
Yeah, it all kind of splinters off in a different way, and like the idea of this podcast went through multiple versions in my head. Initially, it was like the first idea I had of this podcast was every week Aubie brings us different stuff to watch and we just talk about it.
But that would probably get exhausting for him.
Yeah, that would suck for Aubie. And then I was like, why not all three of us just like do it? You know, like each one
Kind
of
of
us.
ingenious.
Yeah, each one of us brings a match. You know, like because all the other wrestling podcasts I listen to are either show specific or themed specific based off of like
Yeah.
a wrestler or something of that sort, whereas like we kind of try and like dance all over the board. I mean, obviously, like, you know, it's one of the things I've said a lot, right? Like it's this week is a bit more toned in on what it could be of being like two territory era matches and then like an all Japan women's match, right? Like it's not as broad as like some of the other weeks have been, but then there's like weeks where like Dom brings a random indie lucha match that has been, you know, recorded on like a probably a iPhone, and but like
And it's fucking great.
but that's the pro shot is from the iPhone, and Aubie brings some random territory like banger, and then I bring like something, you know, just cool or whatever, you know, and it's like a an indie match, you know, like a 2000s indie match or something like that. That in my head was what we wanted, and so
something divisive.
yeah, and so like to see to see like somebody saying like this is effectively forcing me to just watch everything. That is in my head what makes this so like perfect, I guess. And the fact that we literally have somebody who, you know, isn't like we talk with a lot of our friends about this podcast, obviously. Um and like because they're our friends, most of the times they know the wrestling we're talking about. Because they or at least, you know, it's adjacent
Yeah, I get
to
what you're
them.
saying.
Right. Yeah, so like in most cases that's the existence. So to hear it from somebody outside of that bubble.
That they searched for it or they found it. Yeah, it's dope.
Mm-hmm. And
Because a lot of this stuff, man, you can find it on YouTube. There's bangers out there.
I would say that like all the time we have spent doing this silly thing for our friends to listen to is 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Literally one person saying, I have watched some cool shit that I would not have otherwise watched. Because that's the experience that I have had.
Mm-hmm.
There has been stuff that Dom and Brady have brought that I would not have otherwise watched.
Yeah,
and that's really fun. And we talked about this before we started, but it's valuable and cool to hone in on what you like and find that thing and stay in that lane, and it really helps burn out and all that stuff. So
to kind of finish this seg off before we get to Dude of the Week, you know, the question he asked, what is your opinion of the best wrestling hold?
Yeah. Which I don't like wrist locks just because fuck Bushiroad. They've ruined it.
Yeah, wrist locks are like a I'm about to do some reversals.
Yeah.
So I wrote not wrist locks.
Dom
asked if this meant like standard holds or finishing holds, and
yeah,
I think
I had some of both.
I didn't.
I like the leg scissors a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that in the Joshi match that we watched. Some leg scissors that got.
Oh yeah, I guess Santito leg scissors.
For a bomb.
Yeah, the Santito leg scissors was one that I thought of.
Surfboards, if we're talking about just like standard holds,
yeah,
like
that's
surfboards. Big
you
fan
could
of
probably do any.
Yeah,
crossface chicken wing, any lucha kind of hold.
Yeah, I like a full Nelson, like the Master Lock Challenge.
Sick. Yeah,
I like the Ken Patera spinning full Nelson. If we're talking like finishing holds. I'm a big fan of the Fujiwara as like a kill shot.
As the what?
Mhm.
Sorry.
Fujiwara armbar is sick.
Fujiwara,
I love claw holds. I love the Barry Windham Blackjack Mulligan claw with the glove.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
the
fucking
Iron
sick.
Claw.
Yeah.
One of, I mean, the Torture Rack. I feel like is a
Yeah, I was gonna say the torture rack is definitely up there.
definitely falls in that.
Manami did that for like 1 second in that AJW match.
Yeah.
She turned it into the slam, which was fucking beast.
The first thing that came to my head when I thought of this was Kata Hajime, obviously,
Real.
because that's who I am, and I think about that stuff a lot.
I'm a big fucking fan of the Moodle lock,
Yeah.
especially the one. Do you know what I'm talking about? Whenever AJ would do it, and he would really like get your leg trapped and wrench you over his shoulder.
Yes.
Mhm.
I like that one a lot.
The camel clutch where they like tuck the legs under the armpits and do like the fucking. It's like a swinging camel clutch type deal.
I have not seen that. That sounds awesome.
What's the name? What's the name of the thing Mr. Niebla does where he crosses
the nudo?
He crosses your legs and arms and then like rolls you over and sits on you. That's very fun. I don't understand why that submits people, but it's funny.
I think that's what they call that. Like I sound so white every time I see something off Lucha Wiki. It's like a nudo. There's like it's almost just like it's just a hold that makes them locked up in their own body. Like you get like a human knot, and then they will just
if we're talking lucha, I said the camel clutch with the leg thing.
Yeah.
Just straight up camel clutch, like the Santito.
Yeah. Bio.
Yeah.
So real.
Lucha,
I really like the Rings of Saturn. Anything with a double arm
dude,
bar.
the Rings of Saturn is so good. How come nobody does that?
I think it's so cool. I think
that's
like anything with
man.
Anything with arm stretching is so cool. What'd you say, Aubie?
No, I said that was such a good submission, and nobody has stolen. The Rings of Saturn was like, yeah, dude, he got that on you, it was over.
Yeah,
because fucking Nagata does that too, right? He does. It's almost that's like the Nagata lock. It's just a cool. Anything with arm stretching is cool. Like Shelley's Border City Stretch. Yeah. Awesome. McGinnis's London Dungeon is that what he calls it? That shit is dope. And then especially what was Ares his finishing move? The last falconry or something? When he would do like the upside down choke, you know what I'm talking about?
I'll take your word for it.
I'm looking this shit up now. Austin.
Last Chancery.
Last Chancery, yeah, bro, where he would flip upside down. That shit looks sick. Also,
shout out Austin Aries. Go to therapy, bro.
Yeah, Jimmy Raves. What was his shit? The heel hook. It was like a Boston Crab
dude,
heel hook.
I love a heel hook, dude. Heel hook is a good. I like anything that's like a instant kill.
Yeah.
That like migrated over MMA.
Oh, bro, my dumbass Fujiwara armbar, especially when they have the quick counter where they grab your arm and boom.
I mentioned that one. I love the Fujiwara.
Yeah,
because it's so simple and it works.
My brain is so fried. But what was the GIF I posted from Michinoku? Like, it was the Fujiwara tag where he like teased the dive, but he caught. I think it was Dig Togo coming off the top, and he caught him in a Fujiwara, and it was like instant tap.
That's like you can talk like Mystico.
I was gonna say
phones it in.
Yeah.
But the way people insta tap to the Mystica is always cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it sells it. I did search up Niebla's move. It is called La Nieblina.
That
is,
okay.
It's Milano Collection AT does it as
it's the Paradise
Lock. Yeah. Which I guess means also, once again, that I should actually watch Milano Collection AT, because I still have yet to ever do that.
I forgot that was a Brady.
Yeah,
dude, he was fun. I mean, Brady, you should definitely...
I would probably like
either of us. Either of us almost brought the famous Toriamon tag with all the guys.
For the Bradyism.
Yep, because that is a great match. That is so good.
That's
that was Brady. One of the first. Well, not
Dragon Gate things.
first, yeah, like non-all Japan Japanese tapes I bought.
Their tags are just so good,
Best
man.
in my collection.
I don't know why. Okay,
If
I'm
you
watching
like
a
Zack
single-
Saber,
I'm
You will
gonna
fuck with Milano.
I'm going to write this down and send it into the group chat later, but I need to say it now. I just this idea just came to my head. We need to get to the dude of the week and stop recording because we've almost been going for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But like,
Well,
I had this idea
sorry.
of doing a Secret Santa. So basically,
They used to do that. They had Secret Santa, I think, right?
but so like no, so each one of us,
Fuck me.
picks a match, but
Mhm.
but then
We have to guess who picked it.
no, the person who if I like get Aubie, like I give a match to Aubie and Aubie has to present it. Like I can't present it for Aubie.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We got till Christmas to figure that out. If the podcast keeps
Yeah,
going
of
till
course.
then, we're doing good, boys. Anyway,
Gotcha. But yeah,
yeah.
dude of the week.
Dude of the week. I decided to give it to none other than Aubie's wife this week.
She ain't listening, but if she's listening,
I mean, she's.
Well, she's
I was
in
gonna say,
the room with me
she
right
can
now.
hear
She's in the
everything.
room with me
Yeah.
right now, but she's not.
Yeah.
She can hear everything Aubie is saying, just not both of us. But
Yeah, she's watching TikTok, but she's
Yeah,
hot, and I love her.
I do want to slightly amend it to say more dude of the week to all of the wives and girlfriends or significant others,
Shout out.
whatever.
Shout out,
we'll
Wags.
deal with our stupid, shitty wrestling
Yeah,
obsessions because wrestling sucks. It's not good.
like I mean, I don't think we
We have a
really
problem.
touched on it, but like Aubie's literally on vacation right now. Like he's doing this in a hotel room.
Beautiful Rose City, Portland.
Yeah, like
I'm in the Rose City, baby.
he's doing this from a hotel room. This is, this like he could be just enjoying the nightlife in Portland with his wife, and instead he's recording a goddamn podcast. And like my girlfriend deals with it. We all like obviously we're fucking super nerds and we record a fucking
Yeah.
podcast and talk about wrestling all the time. But yeah, like this is easily the they all the significant others that put up or enjoy with these stupid wrestling obsessions that we have here. Thank you, I guess, is the thing I want to say. Just thank you for dealing with our riddled brain full of useless knowledge of a bunch of random men and women in tights and with sometimes terrible gimmicks and sometimes the perfect gimmicks, and
Sometimes they have big fat
big old
Big
schlongs.
hogs.
Yeah.
we talked about this week. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you to all the wives, girlfriends, significant others, but specifically thank you to Aubie's wife for letting us do this while she's
Yeah, and funding this vacation.
yeah
Shout out.
yeah. Other than that, as per usual, if you want to get a hold of us, send us an email at fileunderfirepod@gmail.com so you can be just like our good friend Connor. And we will read it out live on the podcast.
Yes.
Maybe one day we'll do like a full Q&A seg, and we'll like cut something else. Like maybe next time we finish the cage match game, the week after that we'll do like a Q&A instead of cage match game. But anyway, not the point. Email us if you want to get a hold of us. If not, you can post a comment, please. Subscribe, share it with your friends on whatever platform you listen to us, whether that's Apple Podcast, Spotify, or YouTube. Whatever the case may be, wherever you're listening, do any of that stuff. I don't know if I say that. I don't know if Apple Podcast has comments. I know Spotify does. Poochie's all.
Yeah, you can comment and leave reviews.
Poochie.
We have comments.
Yeah, Poochie's always really
Apple
good on
Podcast.
Spotify about leaving a comment on the match or on the episode. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, whatever you got to do. Help try and push this place into the stratosphere, so more people can be like Connor and end up listening to our episodes and watching the better wrestling that they maybe have yet to see or tap into, and help them grow their own tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, go read Yard Subject to Change, give us a follow on the socials, and listen in next week to whatever we do, whether that's best, first match of the year in the first six, or if we decide to take a week off from themes because we just did a 3 week massive theme and instead decide to do just random bullshit, which is probably more likely. If you have listened to all 2 hours of this, God bless you.
Shout out.
And we will see you guys, no matter what, next week for a new episode of File Under Fire. Bye.
Bye bye. All right.